Hi, I'm Taylor.
Hi, I'm Grace.
This is the heart. The heart is a muscular organ that pumps blood throughout the body, providing oxygen and nutrients to the body's organs. The heart has many interesting parts, which all work together to get the blood where it needs to go inside the body. First, we have the superior vena cava. This is where the deoxygenated blood first enters the heart. Then it goes down into the right atrium, receives oxygen-poor blood from the body, and pumps it into the right ventricle, going through the tricuspid valve. This valve is what allows the blood to flow between the atrium and the ventricle. The right ventricle is right underneath the right atrium. This part of the heart pumps low oxygenated blood into the lungs. Then the blood goes up through the pulmonary valve and into the pulmonary artery. It then goes out into the body. After that, once the blood is oxygenated, it goes into the pulmonary veins. These veins carry oxygen-rich blood from the lungs to the heart's left atrium. The left atrium receives oxygen-rich blood and pumps through the mitral valve and into the left ventricle of the heart. This is the left ventricle, which helps carry the oxygenated blood throughout the heart. It then goes up through the aortic valve. Lastly, it goes through the aorta and into the body. Blood pressure is measured by wrapping an inflatable cuff around the arm right above the elbow and inflating it until it's tight enough to block blood flow. Then, air is slowly released into the cuff. While looking at the pressure gauge, slowly release the air from the cuff and look at the gauge. When the pressure is going down, at some point the air will start to go down in a jagged movement. This is the systolic blood pressure. Then, when the arrow starts moving back at its normal pace, that is the diastolic blood pressure. Then, when you put the systolic blood pressure over the diastolic blood pressure, that's how you find your own blood pressure. This is the bulb. Then you have the air release valve. This is known as the cuff. Lastly, we have the pressure gauge. To find your heart rate, you would time yourself for 15 seconds and count your heartbeats. Then, you would take that number of beats and multiply it by 4. That is how you find your average heart rate per minute. What is the average heart rate for the human body? The average human heart rate for a healthy adult is between 60 and 100 beats per minute.
This is the sheep heart that we dissected in last week's lab to show the pathways of blood. Atrial septal defect, a birth defect that causes a hole in the wall between the heart's upper chambers.
Atrial septal defects that aren't diagnosed until adulthood can damage the heart and lungs.
Boom!
When blood mixes in the atrium due to an atrial septal defect, ASD, oxygenated blood from the left atrium flows through the hole into the septum into the right atrium, essentially mixing with oxygen-poor blood, causing an increased blood volume in the right side of the heart and leading to more blood being pumped in the lungs than normal.